Welcome to a how-to video for Windchill using Windchill shell to administer your Windchill background cues. I guess the first question is, why would you want to use a Windchill shell to administer background cues? Well, from time to time, certain cues like publishing cues or indexing cues can get clogged with multiple or very large amount of entries within them. And the reason why they get clogged or backed up is due to, for an example, in the indexing queue, something with the communication between fast in-stream or whatever indexing engine that you're using and Windchill either loses communication, maybe one of the processes for a fast in-stream has died, or maybe one of the ports has been being utilized by something else. So that means is that you have to restart fast in-stream. And what you'll notice here in the indexing queue in an example is that anything over 1,000 entries, a couple thousand entries, makes it cumbersome to use the Windchill interface to administer your cues. So how do you get around that? Well, you get around that by utilizing a Windchill shell, and through a Windchill command you access the cues and clear that queue out. So the first thing is that you have to have, or you have to be on the Windchill server itself in order for you to execute a Windchill shell. So through the Windchill shell, you can access the queue manager through a line command simply by typing in the command Windchill space wt.q.queue.manager. And it's also case sensitive, so in other words, the capital Q and the capital M is very important in the way it finds the class files. So whenever I execute that, you'll see that a background queue administration menu shows up. So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this publishing Q1, which has 3 entries in it, and show you how I can use the Windchill shell to clear that particular queue out. So the first is to select a particular queue. So I'm going to do option number 4. And whenever I do that, it has to authenticate me to a Windchill administrator, so I'm going to use the WC admin account. And then it shows me the available queues. So I'm going to look through here for the publishing queue number 1, which is entry number 15. So keying in 15. Now that is my selected queue, publisher queue number 1. Now what I could do is I could, for an example, show entries inside of that queue, 13. I could say show all queues or all entries, and it shows me all those entries. If there's more than 1,000 entries, you will see some type of warning that more than 1,000 entries are shown inside of here. So I guess the key to this is that you would want to go in and delete certain queues, delete either failed entries or severe entries. So we'll do an option number 14, which is delete entries from the selected queue. In this case, I'm going to do a number 8, severe entries. So it's deleted any severe entries that it could. Now that you have to go back to the Windchill interface and refresh this, and then we'll look at publishing queue number 1, and you can see that those entries are out of there. So what I can do is say, let's delete some more entries out of that queue, and let's delete 3 completed entries. And again, we're working inside the selected queue, which is the publisher queue number 1. Going back to my Windchill interface, refresh that, and then you can see that the entries are also cleared out of there. So you will have to utilize the Windchill shell entry along with the Windchill user interface. The Windchill user interface will give you some statistics like, is the queue paused, or is it suspended, or is it stopped? And then if it is, you can also use things like start selected queue number 5, enable selected queue, which is number 7, show entries of selected queue, and you'll continue to do that until you unclog or take the backlog out of that selected queue. So I want to thank you for attending this how-to video, and please look at tweatherford.com for additional how-to videos.